I've been wanting to make a video like this for a while, but I wasn't really sure how to do it. And the reason I'm making it right now is because last night, well, let me back up a little bit. So my girlfriend's aunt is having a medical emergency, so she's got to be up by her aunt she's staying at her aunt's house to watch her kids, and she decided she wanted the car. So the house keys were on the car keys. Normally it's not that big of an issue because I also have a lockpick set inside the car. Because there's been several times where we've got locked out. Like one example, we were at a campsite. We accidentally locked the keys in the camper, and we were over 2 hours away from where the keys were. So just going to get the keys wasn't an option. So we went and grabbed my lockpick set, opened the camper up in like 2 minutes. So anyway, I was locked out of the house without lockpicks. And then I'm like, I should probably make an example video explaining why lockpicks are so important to always have, even for daily life. Not even if, like, there's an occupying force in the country or anything like that. Because why would you use lockpicks? The fact of the matter is there's no lock or barrier that can keep somebody out. Look at the Maginot Line. I mean, if any barrier is going to keep someone out, you think that barrier would have done it. If somebody truly wants to get into a place, they're going to get in. Lockpicks come in normal civilized world in case it's your own property, and you don't want to break that. Now, the key to lockpicking, without a doubt, is lubricant. Next to my lockpicks, I have this little can of WD-40. It's like, really like this big. For example, I actually brought this out and I was just going to screw with it for the rest of the video to explain that I can't break it open because all the pins are seized into place because this lock was outside. I mean, if I really work at it, I would eventually loosen up the pins and I'd be able to crack this lock, which is terrible because these bigger locks, for me, like master locks, these bigger Banks ones, they're actually easier. I think it's because there's more surface area, possibly. But I can do these ones really, really fast. Much faster than those smaller ones. Actually, I did get this one. Even though I shouldn't have been able to because you can just see the corrosion. This thing is nasty. But anyways, before you even try, hit it with lubricant, wait for a couple of minutes. Now, let's say the dollar collapses, or there's an occupying force in the country. For whatever reason, you're on the wrong side of the enemy lines. That's where lockpicks would come in because it leaves your footprint invisible. You don't want to, like, they come across a lock that's been obviously smashed off with a hammer. Yeah, someone's been in there. Definitely. And it alerts them to your presence. Another great device, like, say, your footprint don't matter, is porcelain. You can literally take a wrist rocket, put a piece of spark plug porcelain in it. I don't know why spark plug porcelain works, or what's different about spark plug porcelain, but it doesn't require kinetic energy. Like if you take a normal piece of porcelain, you have to have enough kinetic energy to break the window. Makes a lot of noise. If you can't generate that amount of kinetic energy, you'll never break the window. Spark plug porcelain, like where this is a glass table right here, it's right here. If I were to take the porcelain and just go like that, this table would shatter. Like I said, there's something special about it. But anyways, so you're trying to leave a small footprint. Another concern you might have is, what about handcuffs? If I'm on the opposite side of the enemy lines and I get busted, there's a good chance they're going to put me in handcuffs. Well, first you have to evaluate the handcuffs. What kind of handcuffs are there? I've run into a couple of different locks. The one that I struggled with the most has a lock in the center and a really small keyhole. Man, I screwed with that one like a half an hour before I cracked it. Then you got your standard American locks that take a keyhole like this. And with the standard American locks, there's a couple of different kinds. There's retention ones where it doesn't allow you to move your hands at all, which that one where you're going to concentrate on is the structural of it. Because you're not allowed to move your hands, it's a great lever. If you can wedge it into something, you can just put force on it and bend them apart. This hinge right here is where you're going to want to concentrate. Concentrate on spreading this. So, okay, what if it's not? Well, your next best bet is either actually having a handcuff key or a bobby pin. For whatever reason, my girl don't use bobby pins, so I couldn't get one. So we're going to have to pretend I have a bobby pin. Now, if they're in actual used handcuffs, everything will be oiled up and they'll be super easy to crack. These I don't use very often. So anyway, they're a little bit tougher because the parts, there's corroded inside and everything. But anyway, so what you do with your bobby pin is you put it straight in. Now you bring it halfway up. And then there's a pole in the center. You use that pole and you put a bend in your bobby pin. And then you come right across the top. Now there's two different locks on these. A lot of people talk about shims. But if the person's smart enough to use the second lock, the shim ain't gonna work. But to get that second lock, it's right about here. You just come across like this with the bobby pin, and as long as they're well oiled and well used handcuffs, it'll just pop, and then you go back. You put it right in the top of the keyhole, and you push towards the way it collapses. I was going to wreck one of my tensioner wrenches to show you how to make the tool with a bobby pin, but I'm not going to. But basically, there's just a little trigger. Right inside there, and then you open them up. And then the second trigger is right down below. These are skills you're going to want to know just in case you do happen to be like that. So like, okay, so I like the bobby pin idea, or maybe I'll just go with the handcuff key. How would I keep it on my persons without it being found? There is an answer to that. Like I had said in other videos, I wasn't as straight edge as I am now, and I'm not proud of it, but I've made life changes. But anyway, I picked up some cool tricks. The one I found the best is, so you got your pants right here. And I've been frisked like 2 or 3 times with items in this spot and have not been found. I've even been booked into jail. Not actually sat into jail, just booked in, where they run your fingerprints, they strip you down, check all your clothes, look for contraband, etc. So what you're going to do is take your pants. Oh, and they didn't find anything. So you take a razor blade right here on the seam. All pants are designed this way. You put a little slit right there. This whole thing is a pocket, and it's sealed off on the bottom. And because of the location, as long as you have pants that are one size too big so you don't actually unbutton them to take them off, you can just loosen your belt and slide them off. If you're patting someone down, and let's say you have a lot of something in there, it just feels like they're semi-excited. But anyways, you got 3 or 4 pieces of material, plus the zipper protecting, feeling it from the outside. Now, I paid attention when they searched my clothes in jail. They went across the seams like this. They checked the pockets, they checked the inside of the pockets, checked the seams, looked for any secret pockets on the inside. But as you can see from the inside, it's totally not noticeable. So you can put your handcuff key in there and hopefully get away from the bad guys. They checked the pant legs, they ripped the soles out of my shoes. They knew I was hiding something. They just didn't know where, and they didn't find it. I think they were pretty convinced that whatever I had was in my butt, but it wasn't. So anyway, that's a great hiding spot. Now you're probably thinking like, hey, why would you put out a video like this? This is terrible information. Man, there's stuff all over the internet. It doesn't matter. If somebody really wants something or really wants to get away with something, they're going to get away with it. This is for you law-abiding patriot Americans that just so happen to get caught up in, I don't know, maybe the dollar crashes, or maybe some invading country comes and you're a rebel against them and you happen to get caught. There's a good chance you're going to be in handcuffs. There's a good chance you're going to need to stash things on your persons. Even if they strip you down and take your clothes, you don't have to worry. They'll never find it. I've never once seen somebody pull it open like this. Oh, you still can't see it. Unzip it. Well, you can kind of see a rip right there, but it looks like just manufactured. They'd have to have it like this and feel this. And like I said, I had like 4 cops check me. Not one of them ever found anything on me. Now, the 2 lock picks you need to have is this one right here. It's your single pick. And a quality tensioner wrench. I like this little swirl in there. It seems to give it more strength. There hasn't been a lock I've run into yet where these 2 picks won't do the job. Now, there's other things that can make the job easier, like your spreader. Say it's a lock with the little metal door on it. You put that in there and it holds the door open for you. And then you got your rakes. Again, like I said, I don't even waste my time with them. I just single pick. Now, I was trying to find a bobby pin in the store and I couldn't. So I could demonstrate it. But basically, like I said, you'd go all the way down to the base of the handcuff, come up like maybe a quarter of the way, halfway, and then just bend the bobby pin over. And then you'd insert it in the front just like this, and as you roll it over, it would unlock it. This can still unlock it, but not as quickly as a bobby pin can. See if I can find the lock. Had it for a second there. So anyway, I hope this video helps you, possibly saves your life in the future. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave in the comments below if you actually know why spark plug porcelain is so deadly to get glass, because I'm actually really curious about this. Or if you can send me a link to where they actually explain what happens with the porcelain, because normal porcelain don't do that. It's got to be spark plug porcelain.
Yes, alrighty. Oh, wow!
God.
I know there's a road here somewhere. You can kind of see a car right ahead of me.